Duran's trilogy. Duran brings out that good financial result achieved in an organization through three managerial processes, namely planning, control, and improvement. I will demonstrate with the help of a visual model. As you can see in the model, the product produced are deficient in a total of 20% deficiency. Why are the product deficient? Most usually, the deficiencies are traceable to the quality planning. That planning process for any reasons has resulted in that high level of product deficiencies. In effect, it was planned that way. To make it simple, the job of the operating forces is to maintain the quality level. It also includes putting out the fires such as that sporadic spike on the model. The product deficiency shows to over 40%, so the operating forces take steps to bring the quality level back around 20%. The chart also shows that the chronic waste was driven down to a level far below the original level. This came from the third process, which is the quality improvement. In effect, it was seen that the chronic waste was an opportunity for improvement.
Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word that consists of two parts. Kai, which means change, and Zen, which means good. When these two words are combined, it means good change. However, when translated into English, it usually means continuous improvement. Kaizen is not like any other type of improvement. It is a series of improvements for the better. Every day, we make small changes or small progress that leads to extraordinary results over time. And that's the goal of Kaizen. It calls for never-ending improvements. Kaizen consists of two activities, maintenance and improvement. Maintenance is for maintaining technical, managerial, and operating standards. Then improvement is for revising or improving the current standard. The three basic principles of Kaizen are workplace effectiveness, eliminating waste, strain, and discrepancy, and standardization. Workplace effectiveness. To address the workplace effectiveness, the Japanese developed the 5S tools: sort, straighten, scrub, systematize, and standardize. Eliminating waste, strain, and discrepancy. Kaizen is achieved through the use of the 5S tools and the elimination of the 3 MUs. These 3 MUs are denoted by three Japanese words. The first is muda, which means waste, the second is muri, which means strain, and the third is mura, which means discrepancy. Standardization. In here, Kaizen emphasizes the standardization of processes, materials, machinery, and many more.
Kaizen implementation. The organization embraced Kaizen in two ways. First is gradual improvement, then Kaizen Blitz. The first methodology is similar to what was discussed in Chapter 4. The management constitutes an Apex Quality Council which oversees continual and gradual improvement in the processes. For each improvement project, PAT are constituted with specific goal. The improvement teams use 7 QC tools for problem solving. They use 5S tools for reorganizing workplaces of the factory for their effectiveness. They reduce or eliminate 3 MUs. They will use PDCA cycle, the plan, do, check, and act to evolve and implement improvement plans. It is a long-term exercise for every process improvement. On the other hand, Kaizen Blitz is a rapid improvement process in which a team or department throws all its resources into an improvement project over a short period of time. It is also known as Kaizen Workshop. A cross-functional team is formed comprising of managers, supervisors, workers, and sometimes marketing and finance, personnel, and even consultants. The team, after attending program, studies the process, collects and analyzes the data, discuss improvement options, and recommends changes.
The 5S practices. Kaizen Toolbox includes 5S practices for improving workplace for effectiveness. The first one is the SEIRI or the sort. SEIRI separate out all unnecessary things and eliminate them. It keeps the necessary in a work area, dispose or keep distant storage, area less frequently used items, and discard unneeded items. The executive can classify items into the following categories: low usage, medium usage, and the high usage. Low usage items can be kept at the far places. The average usage items can be kept in a cupboard nearby. The high-usage items which are frequently used could be kept closer to him neatly. The second 5S practices is the Satan, or which called straighten. The purpose of this tool is to arrange necessary items into a neat, proper manner so they can be easily retrieved for use and to return them to their proper location after use. The following could be adopted, enabling neatness in the organization. Step 1 is to plan to arrange neatly. The management should plan to arrange everything at the appropriate place and appropriate manner. Listed below are the sum of the problems in retrieving things. Step 2. Decide where things should be stored. The organization should have a name for every item and a place for each item to be stored. Similarly, each tool, each material, each document or file should have its address known to the users. Below are the following practices should be adhered. Step 3. Be consistent in the following rules. Employees must have the discipline for the following rules which they made for themselves.
Sesu Scrub. The target of Sesu device is to clean and investigate individual workbooks altogether so that there is no residue on the floor. And keep apparatus and workplace clean. And the importance of cleaning need to be overemphasized. CK2 systematize. The objective of this tool is to maintain the high standard of workplace organization by cleaning and orderly at all times. Develop routine practices for cleaning and checking. And if the organization can systematize the 5S processes, then it becomes easier for continuously and repeatedly maintaining the organization neatness and cleanliness. Shitsuke standardized. The objective of the last 5S tool is to make the previous 4-step part of the daily routine and observe self-discipline through continuous practice. Follow the procedure and standardize continuously to improve the process and re-establish the standards.
The 7 deadly ways. Number 1. Overproduction waste. Overproduction is extremely detrimental, and just-in-time production is the best strategy. JIT requires a healthy organization that practices Kaizen. The company needs to be able to plan for when its products are not being sold in time. Number 2. Waste due to waiting. Progress is the direct measure of quality of the organization. If the product cannot be shipped, it occurs at any stage of manufacturing due to poor planning, organization, and lack of dynamism in making alternate arrangement when a particular man, machine, or material is not available due to unforeseen circumstances. Number 3. Transportation. Unnecessary transportation is a waste. Therefore, every assembly line should be under one roof preferably. If there is no conveyor, the good or semi-finished product should be transported using trolleys or cats. But the distance travel should be kept at the minimum to avoid the back and forth movement. Number 4. Processing waste. To avoid processing waste, the machinery should be kept in good operating order by periodic and preventive maintenance. Money is lost. If a procedure is halted due to breakdown in a machinery, the product should be designed in such a way that it is simple to manufacture, test, and maintain.
The next deadly waste is inventory waste. It is inventory or excess material that is left untouched waiting to be used. The main cause of this is overproduction. To reduce and solve inventory waste, an organization must adopt JIT production or just-in-time production as it focuses on right scheduling to keep inventory as low as possible. The next waste is waste of motion. It is defined as any unnecessary movement of people, equipment, or machinery. It includes repetitive movement like reaching for materials, walking to get a tool, and readjusting a component after it has been installed. Some countermeasures for motion include making sure the workspace is well organized, placing equipment near the production location, and working at convenient position to reduce stretching and straining. Last is the product defect that is created due to mishandling or tampering with an item. To reduce product defect, an organization must re-evaluate and adopt the practice of total quality management.
Business Processware Engineering. What is BPR? Business Processware Engineering is the same as innovation, as it is more than just applying or automating the information technology to the existing business processes, bringing a high achievement expectations and benefits to all the stakeholders of the organization. It tackled essentially to result in a quantum jump in performance of processes. holding a 50% reduction in design cycle and 60 to 80% reduction in total cost of manufacture. It created a shortcut from a month to a day process. Business process engineering exploits the unexploited potentials of the organization. Business process engineering implemented a scheme by which the usual 2 weeks to a month of laboratory testing, they learned from its customers that the competitors was taking a day's time for calibrating such equipment. Thus, they made it to only 8 hours of calibration jobs.
Dramatic improvements can take place through eliminations of redundant operations, unnecessary operations, and operations which add cost but not to the value of the products and services. BPR is an opportunity for innovative persons to decide after due considerations which processes are redundant and make a final recommendation accordingly to management. Then, the management will take a final decisions to eliminate the process.
Radical redesign. Dramatic improvements cannot be achieved only through fundamental rethinking. It calls for design to a new processes. Some service organization takes 15 days to respond to any inquiry through fax. This is because of redundant system established in the organization. Therefore, in order to reply to a query in half an hour time, the redundant process that quick action and need unnecessary approval should be dispensed with it. The engineering team should ask questions fundamentally, the necessity to follow the existing procedure or methods or use of machinery, and should not care to throw all of them and start afresh. Only then, dramatic improvements can take place.